Dosaidatul. So Brother Omar, as a business who are in the industry, how can we maintain or istiqamah? That is the word that might be the challenging part. How to be istiqamah in making decision that is, as what Dr. Nosaidatul mentioned, shared responsibility. It should be shared by all the board of directors. Perhaps from your perspective.
Yes, I think, thank you, Dr. Nosaidatul. It starts with the mindset. It's very, very critical. And in our space, in investments, especially not so common investments, not so mainstream investments, the mindset is a big challenge sometimes. Because of difference of mindsets, if things are not clear, as was also stated by the verses of the Quran and Hadith earlier, then there tends to be gaps in viewpoints or perspectives, especially if things don't go as planned, or things don't. Sometimes they are going in a sense as planned, but not as expected by one of the parties. Right. So there are multiple dimensions to this. I think very, very important when it comes to transactions and business is while we want to be positive and we all look for a good outcome, it's also necessary to think of the worst case scenario. Right? If things go sideways or go down or go bad, then what happens next? Right? And sometimes I think people tend to shy away from that in general because they want to be positive, which is a good thing. But at the same time, to establish a sustainable relationship in business or trade, that needs to be looked at because there's always a chance that things will not work out as expected. And if you only plan for things going smoothly, then when things don't go smoothly, then that's where problems tend to arise, right? That's where disputes come. So one thing maybe I want to just touch on is people today have short attention spans and in general, right? And we want things quick, easy, immediate. And when you're online, things you tend to agree to things or just tap 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 and agree or tick 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 and agree so you can go on to the next step. So while that may cover whichever party is requesting for the acknowledgement or the agreement, while that may cover that party legally, it's also, I feel, very important to make sure as much as possible that the other party understands what they are thinking, right? Because usually people don't read. And it's not, it's the responsibility of the person agreeing to read what they're agreeing to. But we also know that the human or user behavior today is as such, right, where people tend not to read. So it is in the interest of both parties, in my view, to make sure that that agreement is understood, which means that, and this is the difficult part, for example, when we speak to investors, and we're looking for revenue, right? We're looking for sales, we're looking for transactions, we're looking for closures of investment activity. But we try our best to make it very clear that what you're doing, what you're investing in, is super high risk, right? It is a high risk investment. It's an alternative investment, even though like, legally we are covered by all the documentation, but you need to come in with your eyes wide open. Because what we found is that when people don't really understand, and when it comes to in our experience, because we are also branded as Islamic, as at least this part of the world, so a lot of investors say, "Oh, you're Islamic. I trust you. I'll put in my money." Right? So we'll have to tell them to take a step back, or at least in our material, in our communication, in our investor relations, make them think about what they're doing and not just do it out of trust or believing that something halal is always good, right? So halal is good, but there's still risk. Yeah. So I think that the mindset, understanding, and education component is just as important as the clarity of the documentation and the legal aspects of things. Yeah, so this is more of a preventive measure to prevent disputes in the future when things don't go as planned.
Okay, thank you very much, Brother Umar.